Yeah, why not? So Roadrunner's joining us now. How's it going, man?
It's going alright, thank you very much.
Great to have you on this show.
It's great to be here.
Sweet. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Great job in Mexico City, 10th overall. Not where you normally are. Not where we're used to seeing you up on the podium.
It all went downhill from the quarterfinals or group stage. I had really well. Quarterfinals was awful. My pace was off. I have no idea what was up with me. And then semi-finals, my pace was great. But unfortunately, I had an incident in turn one which lost me about 2 or 3 places, and then had to fight my way back up. Got myself back into third, and then it just started going more and more downhill with collisions happening front, and then I kept being a part of them because I was always on like the outside, and someone would go into me, and then I'd lose another position. And then finals just wasn't in a strong position at all.
Yeah, you kind of were stuck in that mid-pack sort, and consistent finishes, right? A couple of 6th places, right?
2 8ths, 7th, and a 6th, which somehow equals 10th.
Yeah.
I think that reverse grid probably killed you. All the guys who were behind you probably got, double the amount of points or whatever it was. But, which sucks. But, I mean, we're used to seeing you up front, and it was quite unusual to see you there. And I thought that, maybe going in, you might have been able to actually, take it. And, Seattle, you were really close to even winning the whole thing as well. Really close as well.
One of my strongest points is being able to pass people, but unfortunately, when I was trying to pass, I made my way up in the Honda, and I got to probably the most difficult person to pass in the entire Forza community, and that's Virus.
Really?
Virus is he's very strong with his defending. Like, he's not dirty. He's just very, very strong with his defending. And when I was trying to get past him, unfortunately, I just couldn't get away past him, and Force One managed to dip his way around the inside. And then as soon as Force One got past me, Virus let Force One pass, and that's how Force One got away, basically.
That's the first I've heard of that. Like, we don't hear a lot of Virus because he's a very consistent driver. He's a very,
we were just saying that, yeah.
Yeah, we were just saying that he's very consistent. He's always, he's kind of a midfielder. He's never had like that ultimate pace to compete with Box and Lage, but he's also not a slow, by any means slow. That's the first I've heard of someone saying that, he's really, or giving us any in-depth analysis on him, because he seems very methodical, very quiet, and, we don't really know a lot about him, and that's quite interesting that it's very difficult to pass him.
He doesn't really move up that much, but if he's in a good position, he's very good at sticking in that position.
Right.
That's awesome. So, and I guess it showed, because he was able to hold consistent, like, 5th place finishes in the finals as well.
Apart from the last race.
Apart from the last race,
one of the best passes, yeah.
Yeah, apart from the last race, he cut the first corner and passed 4 people and didn't get a penalty.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that. I don't think they showed that on stream.
They don't have that on stream.
One of the most annoying things they do in the Forza RC stream is the delayed start. So we see you already rolling instead of the launch and, the green light, as it were.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that.
We jump into the race late. Even in when you're spectating, you jump into the race late because
like
they don't have a
5
grid
seconds
walk.
into it.
They don't have a grid walk in the game either. So you can't grid walk and watch the race. Like, I think that's part of the issue as well. But
that's right.
I wish they had a grid walk like Forza 6, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. But that's one of the frustrating things. But so would you say that Virus is a rival of yours, or do you have like a really big rival that you really want to beat like really badly?
I personally don't really have any big rivals. I always say to people that, as for example, Melish goes around asking questions, who's your biggest rival, to help towards getting data for the Forza RC, and I hate putting an opponent because to me my biggest contender is myself. Not sounding big headed because it's usually me that is the one that's messing up. Because
I
it's
think
myself
most
that's
people can
messing
agree with
up.
it. That your biggest opponent is always yourself. That's
Yeah.
true in a lot of things.
But when it comes to rivals, the only person I would really say is Lightning, because me and him just we're the ones who spend the most time practicing with each other.
Fair enough.
So that would lead into my next question is, you know, what's you're obviously very close with Lightning. You know, his performances have been, you know, slipping a little bit. And, you know, Jason and I were just talking about how he's kind of slipping from that top tier contender from like, with like Lage and Box and Mitch to kind of slipping into the top of the midfielder and not really contending for those wins in the last couple of, you know, LAN events. And, you know, he won New York City, but, you know, is he slipping? Is he losing pace? Is that something that you're observing, or are we crazy over here?
I would personally say he's not losing any pace. The problem is the standards of driving. A person myself, even Lightning himself, we don't do well in aggressive drivers around us. Like we always usually fall behind because that tap just then loses our focus, and when that tap loses our focus, we then start dropping positions, and that's what's happening with Lightning. He was being used as a brake and a wall in order for people to pass, and then when that starts happening, you start losing your focus, you start losing your rhythm, and when you start losing that
coming
rhythm,
offline. Yeah,
you start falling further and further behind.
I understand. Okay, so you just got to be unlucky there with the aggressive field and aggressive tactics.
Yeah, if this was Seattle, we would have seen about 15 penalties in that final. I would say 10 to 15 penalties.
Interesting.
Really? So you thought that the marshalling was different?
The marshalling was incredibly different.
Yeah, I would have said that too. Yeah.
Yeah, the leniency was just, it was a joke. I'll give you an example. Lightning purposely, barged someone out of the way, took him out to get past, and he did it on purpose to test how bad the stewards were, and he didn't get a penalty. And even he was annoyed that he didn't get a penalty himself because he was just testing it to see what would happen. Didn't get a penalty.
Really? Wow.
Interesting. I think we're going back to what we said with Davy skills, and they need to have that inbuilt game, black and white. This is a penalty. This isn't a penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if it's not ready in the game, they should have live marshalling like they do in other esports and in real life.
Yeah.
That to be fair, in GT Sport, I think it's an inbuilt system, and then they have an override. So they investigate it and then override if it's, you know,
that's
outside.
right. Okay, you have more knowledge on this subject than I do. But like, if you watch that tweet that Force One put out of that video, it was, you know, you could see that it would say under investigation. And normally on GT Sport, if you watch F4 Super GT, he's got a bunch of videos about, you know, people just having flashing penalties up on their gamer tags for no reason.
That was a couple 5-second penalty for a very small incident.
Yeah,
but that's okay. That means just any incident you want to avoid, you know, and that promotes very fair racing. But I think the problem with Forza right now is if you had clean racing, you wouldn't see any passes because there's no way to get. I mean, it'd be really hard to make a pass, you know, because there's no draft, so there's no way to build that momentum on somebody in front of you.
There is draft in the game. Unfortunately, it's very, very, very broken.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There's one thing I'll point out is, in order for you to have a penalty system, you have to make the streams longer. Now, with the streams being longer, there's a lot of people who complain with the fact that, oh, it's taking too long to take adjudication into account, and because of this, it's either there's no adjudication and we just talk about it after the race, which will not work because you can literally just take someone out and just next race you're starting up front, so you can't have that. And the other point is, if you're gonna adjudicate during each of the races, you need you need to have the marshals need to have an understanding of Forza and the way racing is, not in real life but in Forza as well. So because of that, because of that lack of being able to have that time to talk about what actually happened in an incident, you have to rely upon the marshals. And if you can't rely upon the marshals, you unfortunately aren't going to have a good weekend.
Yeah,
that's correct.
but yeah, it's
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just an interesting thing, and I hope that with the updates that they're coming out with, that they will hopefully have some kind of their penalty system in place, because, and I hope it works. I hope it works where it's not seemingly broken, because if having something that's broken is just as bad as not having it at all. And
I don't know. I would disagree. I like GT Sports penalty system isn't perfect, and I would say that it's borderline broken. But it
it's
still
not.
works.
But it still works. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you know what I mean. Say they have GT Sports, like literally to the T GT Sports penalty system, is that sufficient enough for, say, a LAN event?
Yeah.
As opposed to the marshals. You think so?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I think it would deter anybody because it's instant. It's instant penalties. So if you pass somebody and you make rough contact, like, you know, as you say, like, you know, if you're lightning and you just push somebody wide, it'll go under investigation and you'll get a slowdown penalty and you'll be forced to give that position back, if not lose a few more at the same time.
What about ones that aren't necessarily, like, what about the wrongdoing one, or the ones that, like, you know how, like, have you ever seen a freaking Super GT video where he gets punted and then he gets a penalty? Like, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I have seen that, and then, you know, that's because he's just racing in like a hopper essentially, like that's the GT Sport hopper. So like you get rammed, and that's, you know, the penalty system gets confused, sure, but you know, you get rammed in that. Whereas we don't really see any like hard rams in Forza RC. You know, you're not seeing people just. I mean, yes, dive bombs, but it's not like you can punch somebody into a wall.
True. Yeah. Okay. That's quite interesting. You know, they do have things that they need to work on, and it's annoying that, you know, we have to leave it up to the marshals. Like, especially you had to leave, like RoadRunner said, you had to leave it up to the marshals, and even in this weekend you had to leave it up to the marshals for the Lage box incident and then box dive bombing Zoom. Like, still, I still can't comprehend how that's not a penalty. What Lage did, like, it's just not like registering in my head. But we've gone over that.
Yeah, someone's got to explain how it's not a penalty, and then I'd be okay, maybe. I mean, depending on the explanation. But it's something they need to look at. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. And RoadRunner,
also, if you listen to Gfinity, please have a look at your marshalling system or whatever. But yeah. Yeah.
What I was gonna say was, RoadRunner, have you seen? I don't know if you've watched it, but I watched the stream of the Forza Monthly, and they talked about how on October 10th, which is in 3 days, they're gonna have a Gfinity marshal come on and talk about the criteria of penalties for London. I don't know if they're going to touch on what happened with Box and Lage, but apparently they will be clarifying what is a penalty and what isn't a penalty, and I'm really curious to see what they say.
Yeah, I want to see what that.
And I'd love to know who they are. I'd love to know who they are.
Yeah.
There is no
mysterious marshals.
Yeah, there is no specific marshals. They are supposedly supposed to have new marshals every live event.
That doesn't seem
okay.
That doesn't seem like proactive to making consistent penalties a thing, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they can form bias. Maybe their argument is they can form biases.
Yeah, but that's why you pick people that don't form biases.
Oh yeah, that's easier said than done, bud.
Yeah, I get that, but you get referees and you get real life marshals in racing all the time that fairly unbiased and deliver pretty harsh penalties.
True, but there are also consequences. Like Davey Seals was saying, like they're getting paid and they get free trips and stuff like that without consequences, even if they make the wrong decision.
Yeah, but you know, as long as they make mostly correct decisions, like the occasional one, sure, but you know, as RoadRunner said, you know, if Lightning's punting people off and not getting penalized, and and you know, Lage is throwing dive bombs and crashing half the field and not getting penalties, and Force One's crashing Davy skills and not getting penalties. It just seems like that's too frequent.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It needs fixing. I would agree.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that after this non-penalty that we're seeing right now, that there's something that's not quite right.
That's your champion right there. That's your champion throwing just a dive bomb and wrecking 4 people.
That's like some Hopper Lobby level shit. Yeah.
That's unfortunately where the FRC is currently at, because they're not listening to the community in terms of being able to fix it. They're using, I'll give you an example. They're using statistics in order to create this championship that they want to create in the future. And the problem with using statistics is numbers don't lie, but they don't tell what happened in order for that statistics to actually occur. So I can make my way up through a pack, and I always make my way up through a pack pretty easily. In 2 laps, I usually make about 5 positions. However, once I made up those positions, I always get taken out. Something always happens to me. I always somehow get taken out by someone. And because of this, statistics actually dictate that I'm one of the worst at making my way through the pack.
Yeah, and I think anybody would disagree with that statement. So you're right.
Yeah, we just talked about that too.
Yeah.
We just talked about how you were one of the best guys at coming through the field and from the back of the pack and coming, and making up positions, which is apparently, according to you, it doesn't reflect on the stats. But
according to statistics, yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. And another thing is, statistics apparently say that I'm one of the best in front wheel drives, which I can safely say
I don't think
is
that's accurate at all.
100% not true. And statistics also say that Mitch is one of the best in 4-wheel drives. Pretty sure it's front-wheel drives. He's one of the best, definitely in the community.
In the world, yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Mitch and Force One in the first race were the fastest drivers in the track in the finals. Were the 2 fastest drivers on the track. And I wasn't surprised. Yeah, I was surprised.
In terms of pace, in practice, in practice, I ran a 38.3, which was the current number 1 in terms of everyone practicing. And that was literally just before we raced. I ran a 38.3, so my pace was actually in 1.2, but unfortunately I couldn't pass virus, so I couldn't extract any of that pace at all.
Oh,
man, there you go. And that's what I said about that. Is like people get caught up in battles and they can't show their pace mid-race. But yeah.
Yeah, same with the GTR. I do think I was the fastest in that GTR, because I think I ran the 2nd fastest lap while battling with virus. And again, I was battling virus, and I couldn't pass.
You've been competing in Forza professionally for a while. Do you think at this point it should be a lot better? It should be a lot smoother, or do you think that we're at where we're at because of neglect, or do you think that they've been making slow improvements over time, and this is just where we're at?
Yeah, Le Mans was a totally different FRC. Le Mans was literally everything in the moment, so anything could have happened. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, well, that's live. That's a live event. It's all in the moment." It isn't. A lot of it is practice. But when you have an event that's 24 hours like Le Mans was, it literally is. Anything can happen. But when they went to Seattle, they massively, and I mean massively, improved, and it was much better. Marshalling was still a bit 50-50. I got a penalty, which I still got on today, and a lot of people hate the fact that I got on today. It's the only penalty I've ever had in an FRC, and I talked to them about it, and they literally said to me, "I don't know why you got it."
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Jeez, that's weird.
Interesting.
And then, sorry, go on.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say it's like you're one of the best passers in the league, and you have the least amount of penalties, which is interesting.
Well, that's because
so
it's racing,
basically.
Though. That's because it's racing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody can agree with it. You're one of the best to go door to door with. It's very hard to not let you pass.
Mm. Yeah, I was only. I think there's only 2 times where I was ever overly aggressive, but that overly aggressiveness was caused because the other driver decided to punt me wide, so I decided the next corner to punt them off. Like
Fair play.
second corner, clips Maria, went down the inside, was going to drive away. I managed to stick around the outside. As soon as we got to the 4th corner, I just knocked him off because I'm not having someone pass me while hitting me to get past. I just think it's completely disgusting.
Oh, that was on Nürburgring GP in the rain in the 918. Yeah, they were showing that. Blage throwing it up and pushing you wide, and I was like, oh, Roadrunner's not going to like that. And, you know, like, have you seen the clip with Zoom and Box just moving him out of the way in turn 1?
Yep. And I think, remember correctly, Box got a penalty for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if I were him, I would have done what you did to Lage. Literally, I would have waited and I would have just moved him out of the way and gone right back by. Zoom didn't do anything to him.
Yeah, it depends. You should only really make the move if you have the opportunity to make the move. For example, in that Porsche, I managed to actually stick around the outside going side by side. And then when we were going for the 4th corner, he tried to cut me off to force me to hit into the wall or crash, one or the other. So I just kept in the throttle and made sure that he went off the track. And if you got the opportunity going side by side, I'd only do it if they did it back. Like if they did it, just do it back.
Yeah, give as good as you get, as they say.
Yeah, 9 for 9.
I hate the mentality of having to do it back. Yeah. But if the marshals aren't going to do anything about it, you have to take it into your own hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are mentality coming out there.
Yeah, you can't rely on the marshals either as well. Like we were saying earlier, you can't rely on them to self-adjudicate. Self-adjudicate.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that just brings it back to a harsh penalty system, something akin to the GT Sport or the iRacing system, where any kind of contact is very is punished. So, would you be for a very strict penalty system in Forza?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like leniency in terms of track cutting, because I don't know if you've watched Silverstone in that Bentley, but Legion Box were full on corner cutting and still didn't get a penalty for that.
Oh yeah, that's another issue, but
yeah, and like I can see really good racing happens when people are forced to obey the rules as well. Because if you cop a slowdown penalty for cutting the track, you lose the advantage. And if the person behind you is not cutting, obviously you're just going to drive away from them if you're going to cut. So
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I can't see a reason why you wouldn't want a penalty system in a racing game, no matter how harsh it was.
Yeah, there is a very fine line, very fine line though, and it's all depends on whether you gained. And I've cut many corners in an FRC race, and yes, I cut it. Should I get a penalty? All depends on whether I gained, and that's the biggest question. Can a penalty system that's not controlled by human interaction, it's all computerized, can that dictate whether you gained or not? Which it can in terms of checking out the gap, but that gap can extrapolate depending upon where you're on the track. If you're going onto a straight, that gap's just going to keep increasing and increasing. Exactly. And whether it can distinguish anything like that, it would have to be seen until they actually implement it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good point. But
it's difficult to say how you could decide whether or not you gained from a cut or not. Because I've cut sometimes and it's definitely been slower.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, you have to have a way to... the other thing is if everybody's doing it, though, then no one's gaining. So, how do you marshal that?
Well, then you go back to the rule of 4 tires on the track. 4 tires
there you go.
Inside the white lines.
Yeah.
So if you're if you're going 4 out, that's a penalty, whether or not you gained or not.
Yeah. If everyone's cutting, you have to penalise no matter what. If everyone gets a 5-second penalty, it may look really, really stupid, but it has to be done.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of like setting the example. Like, you know, you punish somebody or fire somebody at a job to say like, hey, I'm not messing around here. It's kind of the same thing. Is okay, if
Yeah.
everybody's cutting, give everybody a penalty and be like, stop cutting, guys. Like through Maggots and Beckett's in that the second race on Silverstone, dude, everybody, or it was the third race, everybody, or at least Lage and Box were pretty bad. Like they were really bad. They were going right over the curbs, 4 tires through there.
I think it does look bad for the series, that very obvious thing. Yeah, you're right, actually.
Oh yeah.
Kicker, from what you were saying before, it does look bad when you have the guys that are coming first and second and putting on podium positions, making some really interesting racing moves, like cutting corners and ramming people and etc. It does look a little awkward.
Yeah. So you need some way to regulate it. And like I said, it doesn't look good.
Totally.
Like the other thing was, you know, you guys probably can't relate to this, but I was watching the NASCAR race last week, and they were all hyping up this Roval track where it's an oval and then an indoor and then an infield, and no one ever raced on it before, and they were all hyping it up because like it was going to be chaotic. Well, it doesn't look good for NASCAR if all the drivers are wrecking. Like, yeah, it's exciting on TV, but it doesn't look good if everybody's crashing, wrecking, and they don't look like they know what they're doing.
They don't look like professional drivers.
This is the pinnacle of racing and motorsport, and you've got these guys looking like rookies at your local dirt track. Like, it just looks dumb.
And that's one of the biggest problems. What I was on about statistics. Statistics apparently say they want this crashing, but then if statistics dictate that, does that mean you should follow it? You know?
Yeah.
They seem to be following the route whichever gives them the most views they want. Well, if you want the most views, then get every FRC driver up there naked.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to say porn. That'll get the most views.
Like, if that's what they want is the views, by all means, do that.
Yeah.
Only have really
you ain't getting any respect.
Races. That's it. 100% views. You get the whole world watching.
Yeah, but this thing, you don't gain any respect for purely going off what statistics say. You go off what the community and the drivers say, and if the community in Forza says they want it a certain way and they will watch it, you do that. You don't go, oh, we've got
statistics saying otherwise. Yeah,
we got 2,000 people from COD watching this, and they all want crashing because it's exciting. Well, they're from COD. They like destruction. They like all the shooting and killing, and Forza's the opposite.
They don't understand the intricacies of like hard racing.
Yeah.
So they're not going to enjoy like a very clean race. Like it's hard to understand, and I get that, but
there's a certain appeal. There's a certain appeal to a certain demographic, and it's not. That's not it.
No, I know, but like, who do you want to appeal to? Do you just want as many views as you can, or like, this doesn't seem to make sense? Like, if you want to continue as a franchise, you need a player base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the worst part is they've got this front. They've got a front which says we're trying to improve the racecraft in online lobbies, but then at the same time they've got the FRC where they actually have control. They have control of the crashing, and they still can't even fix that. So if they're expecting to fix the game, good luck.
I mean, they have the ability to fix the game, but their focus seems a bit skewed. Like, honestly, the Formula Drift cars, the drift suspension, the drag racing stuff, it all seems like a bit of a gimmick to just have the wider player base more interested in the game. And it's not really pushing people to be interested in the competitive side of things at all. So
unfortunately, it's going to always be like
that. You think so?
Yeah. So this is an important thing that people should really know about is Forza stopped advertising Forza itself as a sim for the Xbox after Forza 4. When Forza 5 came out, they stopped calling Forza a simulation racing game for the Xbox, and they started to branch out to wider variations of anything with an engine that's a car.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And
I was unaware of that.
Yeah, and the thing is, like they seem like they're in between on where they want to go with it.
Like
And
they can't. Yeah, sorry.
They're going to come out with force feedback settings for the wheel. Like,
Yeah.
is that going to make it more of a sim? Like, I said that
Yeah.
on Twitter the other day. I literally responded to a tweet by our Twitter, and I said, like, look, these settings, if the wheel becomes competitive, it's going to make Forza competitive on a sim racing level that's competitive with GT Sport and Project Cars. But if that's not the direction they want to go in, then why are they even bothering?
Yeah.
It seems like they're really undecided on what they want to be, so they really need to decide.
To me, it's Forza Motorsport, and if you aren't having that motorsport in the game, change it. Make it a new title.
They said that in the recent monthly update thing.
Yeah. They did say it's like we want to get back to motorsport or whatever, and they're like it's more other games are more motorsporty than us, and we're not.
I think they see the potential of like heading to more of a sim sort of setting because they have like a fairly good player base at the moment. I would say like it's quite large as far as sim racing titles go. I suppose.
Mm-hmm. It's a large fan base. However, it's a fan base which is slowly diminishing in terms of racecraft, and it's that kind of racecraft which is hurting the game.
So I think, go on. Sorry.
To me, since Horizon came out, I understand why they brought Horizon out, and it's a great marketing scheme in order for the Forza franchise to earn enough money to carry on its franchise for the future.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with bringing out Horizon, you've now got new people who have no idea of the level of racing that is needed on motorsport for you to actually be respectful and
competitive. Yeah.
Competitive, yeah. And with bringing Horizon into that, it's severely diminished that side of the game. You can bring it back, but in order to bring it back, you have to bring back the community features in the game. If you don't bring back the community features, you just can have everybody all for themselves. Because everyone's all for themselves, you're not going to fix it.
I think a good driver rating system and a good penalty system, and that'll be two huge steps in the right direction for Forza Motorsport to be more of a serious sim.
Driver racing systems, I've never personally liked them.
Driver rating.
They used to be another.
I was thinking like the GT Sport system works quite well. I think the iRacing system works fairly well. I understand it's frustrating to have to like rank up and stuff like that, but
Forza did have a ranking system before. It used to have amateur, pro, champion, veteran, and I used to purposely put myself into one of the lowest. I used to put myself into pro, and then when I'd verse a veteran, I'd beat them, and then just so then they wouldn't lose their ranking, they would dashboard.
That's so funny.
That's back in Forza 3 days.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and the current ranking system now with the Pinnacle leagues, with the leagues and the Pinnacle Pro, etc., it's junk. I'd raced a Pinnacle League a while ago, and it was just as messy as any Forza hopper I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, because they didn't do the ranking system correctly,
Yeah, it does not work whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I honestly think that those two things would improve the game as far as like a racecraft standpoint.
Yeah, the drive system properly implemented in terms of racecraft, definitely.
Yeah.
So, Roadrunner is actually going to do his GT Omega Hot Lap Challenge live for you guys. The other two guys, unfortunately, because they had, they were in the middle of the show and one of them had to catch a flight.
Yeah.
They did previous. They did a recording, so we'll be posting those videos for you guys later. But Roadrunner is going to do his live, and you guys are looking at the leaderboard now, so you guys can see Race Boys up at the top as I get the lobby set up here. A lot of moving parts today, so apologize for any delays.
Bit of a juggling act, plus some sweet internet connection issues.
Oh yeah, it was
really helpful roommates. I mean, we've had it all today.
Oh yeah, we have. So let me just grab you guys into the game.
I wonder what this tune is going to be like.
Oh, it's brilliant. I tuned it myself.
Uh-oh.
So just so you guys...
Just ask Davey.
Oh yeah. So earlier today we had Davey Skills run, and he hit a 102.2, which is 0.6 off of Race Boy's time. And then before the show, Force One did his lap, and he ran the top time. Force One ran a 101.4.
4.
Yes.
458 or something like that, I
Yeah,
believe.
458, 438, something like that. So we have a new leader atop that leaderboard for Velace Force One with a 101.4. So be quite interesting to see if Roadrunner said he's got a couple tricks up his sleeve. So
And Force One said he was scared of you, so there's
yeah,
that.
there's that too.
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure.
Well, that's going to be a rip.
Yeah.
Can't really hear the sound, oh well.
Throw up those race driver excuses right now. He can't hear
Oh,
it,
yeah.
guys.
Oh yeah.
He can't hear the car, so that's
Do
going
we
to
know if it's manual or manual with clutch?
I believe it's clutch.
I think it's forced on, dude.
Manual with clutch is not forced on.
Okay.
Only manual is forced on.
Why?
Well, you can choose either one, bud. It doesn't matter which one.
It's forced cockpit view. Oh my god.
He didn't know. He didn't know.
That's gonna be a fail.
I'm working on getting this hot lap challenge up at the moment. For some reason, it is not pulling up. Give me 1 second. I'm waiting for. Yeah, more issues. That's always good. I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
I'm waiting, Jason. I'm waiting for you to come into the lobby as well, bud.
No, don't worry about me. I'm not close by my Xbox. Just continue.
Get ready for a 1:10.
Oh,
I can watch from here. I can view the screen share that we've got going, so it's fine.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm glad you can.
1:10. You're gonna lose to I think it's Alan Walsh who's even beating that time.
Yeah, you want to lose to Alan Walsh?
If it wasn't forced cockpit, I would have a chance. Right, I'm gonna need to know where do I start.
All right, so you're just gonna go around on your first lap.
there.
Yeah, go around on your first lap and stop by the entrance to the pit lane on your way around. Just get a feel for the car first.
Right. Well,
Jason's got birds chirping as well in his background.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay. I understand. I've got roommates that
That's
shout
window.
profanity.
I can't do anything about that bird, except shoot it, but I'm not going to do that.
Alrighty.
oh, this is fun.
Oh, so you like the tune?
It interestingly oversteers way too much, so I can corner, can't I?
No clean lap is needed. Because we ran some with the old track limits where you could really cut the chicane here. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, that's fine.
And the only place we don't want you to do too much off-roading is just at the back here, where you are now, in fact, because you'd be ahead of this.
Yeah, just don't extend that back, like, really far.
So do you want me to stop at the line?
Stop at the
entrance.
Near the pit entrance. On the right-hand side. Just at the start of the wall there. Obviously on the left-hand side of that wall, but yeah, near the pit entrance.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, my first flying lap would have been like a 105 probably.
Interesting. Took it a bit conservative there.
So where do we
Still
go?
managed to beat our times.
Alright,
Yeah.
so you're gonna pull up, keep going. There's some arrows in front of you there. See them on the ground?
Am I?
See those two triangles? Oops.
Yep.
Alright, you're gonna back up a little bit. You're gonna want to be right around. You're gonna want to line the front of your car, the front of your dashboard, up with the front of the triangle.
The back of the triangle.
No, the front of the triangle, bud. Yeah, that's good right there where you're at. Should be where. Oh,
When you said the front, that's what happened. See, you said the front, and then he messed him up.
Oh,
so
I'm
it's
sorry.
back,
Go back to where you were.
Triangle.
The back of the. Yeah, you're
Is that
gonna.
it?
No, you're gonna back up. Oh, wait.
There? There?
So the
A
front,
little bit back.
yeah,
Yeah.
back a little further.
Back.
You should be able to see the triangle from cockpit view.
Yeah, you should be able to see just the bottom of the triangle from.
Yeah.
From cockpit. Yeah. You can't. You can. Yep. There you go. That should be about right. That looks
Yeah.
good.
So,
Oh God.
Matt Gaming says that you're the king of potato and that you're gonna hit a 101 flat. So, when you're ready, you can do your first attempt.
You going full Brit on us? Apparently you are. I assume so. Full Brit send.
Oh, there's
No
his
heel spin.
there's his cool little launch technique thing that he has, some kind of secret.
Seems to be working.
Wow, that looks really
That's a
good.
decent apex
That
right
looks
there.
great right there.
Reckons force cockpit's going to be a problem.
Are you running sim steering?
Rip. Oh my God.
I'm glad you like the tune.
It's so. Where am I going?
Oh,
Classic hot lapping phrases right here, guys.
that's an extend, but hey.
Yeah. As long as you try not to, that's fine.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of time doing it.
We're not Forza Marshal, we're Gfinity Marshals, so we won't give you a penalty. Oh, a slide at the end.
That was
It's
a
hard to keep the
fail.
power down through that left. It's hard to put the power down in
His
this car
definition
anywhere,
of a
really.
fail. His definition of a fail was a 102.9.
That was a big fail. Did you like the
Yo.
launch though?
Are you seeing
launch
that
is nice.
Andrew Berg guessed that it was going to be a 102.9?
Oh, he got it right on the money. Wow.
Props to Andrew Berg, mate. You've done well.
That's
Well
That's flip mode, bud.
done. Oh, it is? Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's flip
wasn't aware
mode.
of that. Well done, flip mode. Thanks for watching the stream.
How
What if
many
they're
attempts
both
do I
right?
get this? Oh my gosh,
Three-
it
three
understeers.
3 shots. So this is your next starting lap. And then
What
you'll
if
be
they're
up on
both
the
right?
other.
What if his first attempt he
slide.
ran that 102.9 and then by the end he hits a 101 flat?
I mean, I'd be really impressed with that.
That would be hilarious. I would love that.
Force One did say there was half a second in it, so there's a possible for a 1 minute 9.
Yeah, exactly.
Or roughly.
Flip mode's like, I'll take that rig. Sorry, bud. Alright, it's gotta come back to the arrow.
I mean, is that good?
Right there, yeah, right there. Let's oh, a little forward.
I need my elite control
gotta-
to do this now because my fingers
You
twitching.
gotta back up, bud. You gotta back up a little bit.
That'll do.
Alright.
Oh, is it not enough?
Yeah, back up a little more.
That's
Because like
There.
he'll get a better, he'll have more time to
There.
build up speed. So.
There. That'll do.
Yeah, that'll do.
yeah, that's good.
Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, unfortunately, guessing the time doesn't win you a rig there, flip mode.
Yeah, sorry, bud. You have to win.
Feel free to come on the show and give it a crack.
Look, he's
smooth.
look at that! Look at how close he was to the wall. How
Dancing on the
brave!
brakes.
Very
Dancing on the
brave,
brakes.
dude.
You
Very
can't even
brave.
see that wall thanks to that mirror. So
I know.
Like, oh, a little bit of wall touch.
Smacking the wall. He's like, nah, we're good.
Just maximizing the track width there. That's all.
Oh my gosh, it just understeers. Where am I going?
Understeer,
Oh my
oversteer. It's the
God.
best car ever. Wow, he's going on an adventure.
And he's sliding. Oh no! Wow.
It's time to employ some of those tricks, RoadRunner.
The beginning of his lap looked really good.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Oh, another
Oh,
slide!
big slide. Oh, it's a,
Wow.
How was
Slidey
that
boy.
still a 202? Oh my gosh.
2028.
2028.
Oh,
I don't even know.
he almost
Don't
just
even know how.
crashed. How did
Oh.
that tire wall not take him out? What?
I don't know. Usually it spins you right around. Instantly,
I know.
It's like, oh, touch the tire wall, instant 360.
He's got one more attempt at it. One more. He's got to
One
shave
more.
off 1.4 seconds to beat Force 1.
You gotta let Force One get that rig.
Sounds like it.
He doesn't need the rig, man. He's got a full sim arena from Veloce. You know what I mean? He can just go there anytime he wants. You got to take it from him.
See, if I did it like that, that'd be better. Oh my gosh, understeer.
Yeah, it's understeery because it's oversteery. Yeah, it's fun.
Right.
Alright, one more time. He's coming back down here to the starting spot.
Let's see if he can wheel his way to a wheel.
Is that alright?
I make lane
Yeah,
puns.
it's good right there. Yep, right there.
Send it, full Brit. Thanks, Nate. Put it in there.
Nice! I died.
Oh,
Oh no!
I saw it coming.
Oh man!
Oh, that's it.
That's the price you pay. Oh wow!
It's done.
Let's see if I can still beat a 2 or 10. A 210 Chelsea.
Let's see if he can crash. Box crash and win a 108. So, man.
Oh my god, and I actually do that corner this time.
Well, Spawn apparently doesn't have room for a rig in his dorm. So yeah.
That's funny.
Apparently he's gonna have to make it work because Roadrunner's giving it to him.
Oh man.
Lol.
1095, you did it.
Roadrunner's still fast. Roadrunner's still fast. He didn't hear the car, so that's why he's slow.
Oh,
that's why he
man.
crashed you.
Wow. 102.8. Alright, that puts you 4th, I believe, behind Davey Skills, Race Boy,
That was
and
tragic.
Force One. Oh man. What'd you think of the car?
Right.
The car's gotta be great, right?
Alright, how about this? Right. I'll do another attempt, yeah? Another attempt, but it doesn't count, obviously. It doesn't count.
Right. You want to do another attempt? Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't count.
Okay,
It counts.
alright, that's fine.
Right, shall I back
Yeah.
out?
Does everyone? I think everybody wants to see him give that a go. Yeah.
I would agree, yeah. I think everybody wants to see that. Alright. Yeah,
One
you can
more
go ahead
time.
and back out and we'll give it
Just
a
for
go.
the lulz.
Just for the lulz, yep.
Right. Right, you.
Alrighty.
This one's for the Brits.
Just gotta ready up.
And what I'll do, I'll teach you the drag racing launch.
Okay, I'd love to know the drag racing launch. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
So
Focus
this
to
is this drag racing launch is called brake boosting.
Brake boosting. Okay.
Yep.
Listen up, everybody.
So I'll do the lap.
I don't know. I think I may know.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Is it just where you like? Wrong. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Is it just where you hold the brake and the accelerator at the same time, Roadrunner?
I'll show you.
He's gonna show you.
Okay.
Don't-
Bring up the telemetry kicker so you can see what he's doing.
Oh yeah, well the telemetry is broken on this game, but yeah, I can pull up the telemetry for sure.
Yeah, just so we can get an idea though. Come on.
No, that's not telemetry. That's not what. Wait, yeah, it is.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that
That's
is
good.
telemetry. You're
Oh,
just
jeez.
thinking replay telemetry.
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
Matt Gaming wants to see a 360 entry into turn 1 there, Roadrunner.
That will be after.
That would be
After.
Right. So this car is best being launched in second gear. Right.
Okay.
So to brake boost, you want to hold the brake pressure 10% or less. So if I put it down to, let's say 6, gradually feeding the throttle, then do full throttle. Do full throttle with 5%, I'm staying still, then lift off.
Wow.
Now,
How about that, guys?
Is that a glitch in the game, like, or is that like an actual application, like real life kind of thing? Like,
You can actually do it in real life, but you will literally fry your clutch.
oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
Does it damage the car at full damage?
No.
Oh, interesting. Nice and realistic.
Oh, he's going wide again.
Oh, dash those brake and throttle input. Matt Gaming, you could see how he had 10% then 5% brake, but I can pull up the other one as well, so you can see it next time when he pulls it up. But yeah.
So this is when RoadRunner doesn't go full potato.
Let's see what he puts in, guys.
0.4.
That was a good... Oh,
really? A 101.4? 101 point. That's faster than Force 1. Oh, wow.
I guess he was right to be scared, but I guess, you know, that's...
I went potato. And there's a lot more time in that. I'd say there's a 15.9.
A 59 in that? Wow, really? Okay. But in in 3 laps, yeah, it's tough.
It's this corner. I keep braking too late. See, that's how I want to do it, like that. That was perfect.
That was perfect.
It was pretty good, yeah. A little bit of a slide.
Right, see if we can do 59.
From a standing start, I couldn't even get that on a rolling, like a flying lap. Special RoadRunner launch.
Yeah, you can
Helping
barely
him out
see the
there for
brake
a
on
few
the
tenths.
bottom, yeah. You can barely see the brake on the bottom there, on the telemetry. Oops.
Don't do that.
I didn't... I didn't mean... Look at that. I'm surprised
Whoa.
how brave you guys are when you get that close to the wall, not being able to see the apex because of that mirror.
That's probably why he crashed on that third and final lap.
Raceboy's gonna be so sad that Force 1 beat him as well.
Right? He was so keen for that rig.
I know, right?
Bit of an extend, but we'll let it go. I mean, it's anything. Just for the
Yeah.
pulse.
It's not like it's a dive bomb and Nürburgring into a chicane.
Oh,
and
this
taking out 4
millimeter
people.
perfect on the entry to this corner.
Let's see what this lap is.
1 minute, 0.7.
Wow, 1 minute point 7. Jeez.
And there's another 3 attempts in that.
Just another
Bullshit.
310. Jeez. Wow, that's crazy. I hope you guys are taking notes. You're providing you're providing evidence and studying material for our future guests to perfect their laps.
The only
They
place,
still have to drive the car.
this is where I can make up 3 attempts here. I can do it right when I'm not even actually on for a lap, which is really annoying.
No pressure. That's probably what it is.
Yeah. Right, let's go for that 1 minute, 0.5.
We're watching the master at work here with potato cars.
Master Potato himself.
I'd like to see a race between him and Raceboy in these cars. And Force 1. You 3.
I'd like to see. I think we should take the whole T2 and make a hot lap challenge for it and just put them in a race with these cars.
All of them? All the
Yeah,
guys on the Hot Lap
super short.
Challenge? Just
Yeah.
throw them
for
into
the
a
lulz.
race. Yeah, just for the lulz, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all Force cockpit view as well. And they
Yeah,
can't run any
yeah.
assist, yeah. But,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they... But,
I don't think
Oh,
they should
screwed
do
it.
that. I think that's just a pipe dream.
but they could,
Oh no. goes that 50. That goes that 105. Well,
1 minute
1:05.
Oh, that's not bad. There, you get tipped.
That's really good through there. That's 2 wheels over, but like that's perfect, really.
Yeah.
Those wobbles you get down the tunnel there. I don't understand how you don't spin out.
And it's still a 1 minute point 2. That's hilarious. Right.
Oh, 1 minute point 2.
Holy.
What in the?
Oh no, it's a 1 minute 1.2.
1:01.2.
1 minute
I was gonna say-
1.2.
Oh, 1 minute
Right.
1.2. Okay.
I was about to freak out. I was like, what?
That all lost me quite a bit.
Actually freaking out.
Yeah, there might be 59, but I think that would be without cockpit.
Wow.
But yeah, there's definitely a 1 minute point 3.
Well, they only get 3 laps, so. Yeah.
But at that launch would be about 2 tenths in the lap.
Wow, really? Okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting. So.
Unless you're commando, then it would be your second.
Take notes, guys. Take notes.
So I remember watching Commando, and he was sliding everywhere. That would literally have saved him probably just under a second.
Really? Wow. Commando put down a decent lap time as well. Put down a 10 something. Commando put down a 1043. Okay. So interesting. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, man. That was good fun. That was definitely enjoyable to watch and to see what
No worries.
Jason's stupid car and tune could do.
Yeah, that was an impressive masterclass, man. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Guys, next week we've got Veloce Racers coming on the show. So it should be fun. See if he can take it to his teammate and beat his time in the GTO Mega Hot Lap Challenge.
Yeah, that'll be a nice little personal rivalry between them. I got it.
So, yeah. If you guys want to follow us as well on Twitter, at OffTheTrackShow. Roadrunner is at Williams RR, I believe. RR1, I believe. So,
yep.
Give him a follow as well. And we'll be watching for you in London, man. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
So hopefully
Yeah.
you get a little bit better result than what happened in Mexico. Hopefully you don't get stuck behind virus.
See. It's just virus. If virus is in front of me, just don't expect me to move on. That's plain and simple.
Kryptonite. The Roadrunner.
He is.
The unstoppable force meets the immovable object. I like it.
Hey man, if you beat him in London, man, it'll make it that much sweeter though too.
Yeah, totally. What a rivalry.
That's true.
Yeah. So guys, we appreciate you all sticking through all of my technical difficulties on my end. We appreciate it. Definitely give us a shout on Twitter what you guys thought of the show today. Like I said, Veloce Racers next week, and we'll see you guys all next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you later.
See ya.